Okay, students, so next we have radical rule number 3 and 4. Very wordy stuff, all right? A lot of stuff right here. We're going to be rationalizing the denominator. Really, that means is we don't want any radicals in the denominator. We want whole numbers only. We consider that to be more simplified in math. So, step 1 is going to be identify. Step 1's really easy. Identify radical in the denominator. All right, so we're identifying the radical in the denominator. In this case right here, it's radical 5. All right, we want to rationalize it. That means we want to make it a whole number. Number 2 is we're going to multiply numerator by radical 5, denominator by radical 5. Now realize, radical 5 over radical 5, if we're multiplying the top and bottom by radical 5, we have radical 5 over radical 5, which is 1. All right, so we're multiplying by 1, but it's going to help us simplify as you see as we progress. And then 3 is simplify. So watch this. This is what all I mean in steps 1, 2, and 3. Identify the radical. All right, so it was radical 5. Now again, I don't really like this equal signs here, so I'm going to change it into a fraction bar. We're going to multiply the top, 6 by radical 5, and the bottom, the denominator, by radical 5. And then we're going to simplify. So what's 6 times radical 5? 6 radical 5. What's radical 5 times radical 5? 5. All right, so this is where it's going to really help knowing the rules of a radicals. Multiplying like radical a by radical a is just a. All right, and then simplify. Well, we're done. All right, that's it. There's nothing to simplify. Done. All right, we consider this to be more simplified in math. It might not be clear in this example, but some of the other ones it might be a little bit more clear. So again, and notice how there was no radical in the denominator. All right, now 4 divided by radical 3. All right, step 1, identify the radical. That's it, boom. Now we're going to multiply both top and bottom by radical 3, and then simplify. 4 radical 3 over 3, boom, I'm done. Again, why are we doing this? We're laying a foundation. This is going to help us learn some other stuff as we progress through Unit 7, right triangles. A lot of radicals happen in this unit, so that's why we're practicing this. All right, now this one is when we start to get a little bit nicer on seeing why we're doing what we're doing. Identify the radical. Multiply both numerator and denominator by the radical. I'm going to get 2, radical 2 over 2. And then this is the first time we have actually seen a little bit more simplifications. The 2's kill each other, they're dead, they're gone, they're never coming back. We're left with just radical 2. So in this case right here, we saw how 2 radical 2 simplifies just to radical 2. All right, so this one was a little bit nicer and cleaner. And again, this is us mathematicians, this is kind of like reducing a fraction, simplifying a radical. Think of it as the same. All right, this one right here, 2 radical 3 over radical 5. Identify the radical 5. Multiply both numerator and denominator by radical 5. We're going to get 2 radical 15 over 5. All right, and that's it. D-O-N-E, done. Okay? Now this one right here I like as well. These last two I actually like, because why? Look at this. Radical 2. All right, remember, we just want to multiply the radical. We don't need to do the whole thing, 3 radical 2, just the radical 2. I'm going to get radical 10, and I'm going to get 3 times 2, which is going to become radical 10 over 6. And again, we consider that to be more simplified. Radical 10 cannot be reduced. And how do I know? I mean, we could check no perfect square factors, all right? And believe it or not, I've done a lot more math than you have in your life, so I can kind of tell quickly by looking at it. Some of you might have also been able to tell, but some of you were wondering, how does he know there's no perfect square factors? Well, my choices are 1, 4, 9, then we get too big. None of these, well, one doesn't ever really count, so just between 4 and 9, and those don't work. That's why I know radical 10 cannot be simplified. And then the last one, radical 2, so multiply. I'm going to get 4 radical 6 over 2. Now focusing on just the whole numbers, 6 and 2, 4 and 2 reduces to 2, so 2 radical 6. And that's it. All right, knock out these practice